So, in spiritual practice, it's a doing that is without any aim. So you're actually trying to do something that, in terms of language, is very paradoxical. So when you listen to what other people are telling you about spiritual practice, or when you're going to listen further to what I'm going to say, always keep in mind that in terms of language, we have to be contradictory here. It cannot work out to be very precise with language and still convey what is meant here. So with spiritual practice, you're actually trying to be aimless. You are teaching your mind to relax. It's a deep relaxation from the habit of doing constantly, of constantly interpreting what you are experiencing. So there is a goal with meditative practices. There is a goal in spirituality. But it is a goal where you are in a state of doing less. You are producing less. You are fabricating less. And so this is really something that the mind struggles with for a long time. To really get a sense for what it means to not do. So, for example, when I say, just be as open awareness. Just be awareness. There is no way for you to do that. You can't become or do awareness. You can't decide to, now I'm going to be just awareness. In a sense, you're already that. But on top of that, you add a lot of things. You do a lot of things that hide that pure awareness, that is hiding that pure awareness from yourself, that is your natural state. So really what you're trying to do, and it's paradoxical again, is you want to relax. And so the meditative path is a lot about recognizing in which ways you're not relaxing. You're discovering the ways in which you tense up, the ways in which you contract around things in your experience, and you create that self and world dualism by contracting into that sense of self. Whereas actually what is going on is that there is no outside of you. There's no outside of awareness. And you want to relax so deeply that you become that whole of awareness. And the reason why you can struggle with meditation for so long is because it is absolutely antithetical to what you are used to doing, to the mind state that you are used to, which is to identify and label and make a concept out of it, to contract. You're used to contraction constantly around your sense of self, around the sense of other, and whatever a situation means to you. You are interpreting that and seeing that and living and experiencing that from a very contracted state of mind. And so the only thing you can do is to relax. But it's not a doing. You are not forcing your hand open. That would be like too much. That would still be a doing. But if you tighten the fist and you relax, there's no doing involved. And so you really want to become aimless. You want to be aimless. But there's the goal of seeking ways to do that. There's the goal of learning how to do that, of teaching the mind to let go over and over and over again. Because you can imagine, just for a moment, that you relax. You're actually successful at completely relaxing. You will notice that there is a very strong tendency of the mind to say, oh, this is not it. The mind is saying, oh no, that's not it. You just have to figure out this one more thought. Just get the answer to this thing in a spiritual sense. Just get what he is saying, what this teacher is talking about. If you get that, then there will be a greater being, a greater relaxation. So the mind is constantly jumping in. It's so quick that usually before you start meditating, you do not even notice these gaps. And with practice, you can actually allow the mind to sink in just that crucial bit more, so that you can recognize these pauses. And maybe in that short pause there, maybe you noticed your mind there jumping in. It's comfortable when I'm talking. It takes over your own inner voice. You go along with what I'm saying. You're conceptualizing that. You're following the train of thought. But then when I stop, you can notice that quickly the gap is filled by your own inner voice. And when you notice that, just relax. Don't force it out, but just pay no attention to it. Just let it go. Relax. And then with deeper relaxation, with more letting go, you can come to see that your current state is very, very contracted. You notice these individual creations of the mind that you are constantly producing, because they can drop away one after the other. There is the illusion created right now, this second, of being in a room. You think you are in the room. That's a contraction. Let go. Actually, you can notice that this body that you think you are, and also this room, is appearing in mind. It's in your mind. And really, you see, even with these instructions, the approach you are taking is one of doing. You want to get it. You want to understand it in terms of language, in thoughts. And that's why usually I have focused more in my videos about instructions of method, instead of, like in this video, talking more about the state, the result. Because in terms of method, you have to do that a lot of times, and just to the degree that you can. So maybe you're in the state or in a place where you can let go of thought, and that's the area, that's the level that you are working. This is what you are struggling with now, with the level of verbal thought, of mental chatter. So you want to let go of that first. And you can even be grateful and thankful that you cannot drop all your contractions all at once, because it would probably evoke a lot of fear and terror. It would be terrifying. So you can actually really be thankful for the slow, progressive way that this is unfolding for you. And it shouldn't be any faster. You wouldn't really want it anyways. And if you want it faster, then it will happen faster. And then it will be right for you. But if it's happening slow and steady, then that's also right for you. Just drop into that. And just let go of whatever you can let go of right now. If you notice a thought coming, you loosen the contraction around that. You say, okay, I'm not going to follow that. I'm not going to follow into that contracted state that this thought is producing, and I'm letting go. And then you rest in that short gap after the thought, in that emptiness. And you watch it. You watch the mind. You watch what arises next. And whenever you recognize something in your attention, you let it go. Shortly afterwards, another thought arises. You recognize it. You let it go. And then slowly over time you will come and reach these deeper levels of letting go, where then maybe any sense of self that is not really verbally or conceptually elaborated in your mind. It's a feeling, it's a identification outside of verbal thought. And maybe then your mind has become so still that you can work on those levels. And then there comes a point where you recognize you're not even working on those levels. They are deconstructing themselves. You're looking and looking at whatever is arising. And you get more and more clarity on those, what they really are. And that there is no, in this whole vast field of awareness, that there is no place for a self. You keep looking. For a while you still can't believe it. Keep looking. It's like, oh, there is no self, but I still feel a self. You keep looking. And the evidence becomes tighter and tighter until finally you can let go. Because it's so overbearing, the evidence, that you really can't stand this contraction anymore. This contraction feels too heavy, and you let go. So that's really the emphasis here. It's method, just doing that, relaxing into what is. Forgetting about the goal. The goal is not anywhere outside of now. It's always now. You couldn't even conceptualize liberation or awakening because you have nothing to compare it to. It's self-evident, self-known in the moment. There's no one who can come around and validate anything for you in that sense. You can't go and look and compare your experience to any other experience, and you won't have to. The letting go will just continue and deepen, and you will know at a certain point that this is how it unfolds. So really, if there could be paradoxically stated any goal, any aim with language, then it would be to be here now, to recognize again and again and again how awareness presents itself to you. Awake, clear, equanimous, and with just utter curiosity. Every moment you watch what is arising and let it go until finally you can let it go the moment it arises. And there's no more moment arising or passing away. So this is really where the practice of meditation comes in. And you also want to make not that much of a distinction between the practice on the cushion and the rest of your life at a certain point. It just continues. Every moment self-liberating in complete conscious awareness. More data, more input for you to recognize that illusion is created in this moment for you and be able to let it go. So I hope this is something that you can use as a pointer for your practice. Whatever practices you are doing or learning about, really they all fit under this umbrella of learning how to recognize at deeper and deeper levels how the illusion is created. Yeah, and with that, thank you for being here with me. If you have questions about your practice, if you want to talk about it, get input, I'm happy to help you. You can contact me through my website. Just book a session there with me, and yeah, we're going to talk about your practices, see if I can have any helpful input to you. And with that, see you in the next video.